let's bring in Paulami on that. Paulami, very interestingly, despite Manish Sisodia being the excise policy or excise minister itself, and under his watch, he was the one who initiated and framed the whole Delhi liquor policy. Yet the ED says and suggests that it was Arvind Kejriwal that was really the kingpin in this entire case. Of course, needs to be proven, but this is what has been said in court.
That's right. That is what the Enforcement Directorate has said in court today. That is what they're saying in their remand copy as well. Remember that the grounds of arrest run into 28 pages. The counsel right now for the Enforcement Directorate is taking the court through basically those grounds of arrest and the statements that they've collected from various individuals who they have in fact investigated, arrested in this case as well. So some of them have turned approvers as well. What they say is that they've been able to establish that Arvind Kejriwal was the kingpin of this scam. It's not that he was untouched by this altogether. He did not know what was happening. Allegedly, under his watch, he knew. In fact, he initiated a meeting. He had a meeting with Kavitha, BRS MLC, who's currently in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate as well. And in that meeting, he suggested to Kavitha that they work together on the Delhi excise policy. It has been suggested by some of those, including Sharath Reddy and also Magunda Reddy, in this investigation,
right,
and during the course of their interrogation, allegedly, that it was told to them that when they approached with this idea of a business, they'd seen a newspaper ad that the Delhi, liquor business was to go private, and private vendors could, in fact, have a stake in it. They approached the Delhi government, and they were told, get in touch with Kavitha, and, come back to us, and we will discuss this further, which is when they got in touch with Kavitha, and allegedly her front in this case, Arun Boinpallai. So this is something which is going to be extremely critical. But what the Enforcement Directorate is saying, that Arvind Kejriwal himself was in the know and he was the kingpin of this scam.
Well, that's really a big statement, and ED has suggested that all along, but here in court explicitly has said, Munish could delve on that a little more. Munish, ED saying Arvind Kejriwal really the kingpin. Transactions have happened, large chunks of it has been given in cash, which is why there's no invoices to it. These are the statements made by the ED that only partial invoices were raised because the rest of the money was given in cash as bribe.
Well, Nabila, ED's strategy looks very clear as far as linking Arvind Kejriwal to this entire alleged scam is concerned. First, they are talking about Arvind Kejriwal's meeting with Manish Sisodia, and why this meeting was important, because this meeting took place before the excise policy came into existence. A favorable policy was being drafted, and ED has alleged that this meeting took place at the residence of Arvind Kejriwal. Manish Sisodia was present, and also a person from the excise department was also present. Later, the draft policy was given to some of the stakeholders. So ED is alleging that to bring the excise policy, a favorable excise policy, the stakeholders were not only consulted, but they were, taken on board, and also to bring the excise policy, the favorable excise policy, 100 crore rupees of bribe was offered from the South Cartel on behalf of Kavitha to Aam Aadmi Party, which means the ultimate beneficiary was Arvind Kejriwal. That is what they are talking about. The cash part which they are talking about, and it becomes extremely important because end of the day, it is a money laundering investigation. Till the time you are not linking
if I could put you on hold for just a moment. ED has said in court that 45 crores has been transferred via Hawala to Goa. And this is precisely what some of the candidates in Goa of the Aam Aadmi Party have said, that they were given cash by the Aam Aadmi Party netas, the senior leadership from Delhi, for them to fight elections in Goa. And here ED saying in court that 45 crores in cash was transferred via Hawala.
Absolutely. As I was talking, Nabila, that, the task for Enforcement Directorate is to establish money trail between the Aam Aadmi Party and the bribe money which was paid by the South Cartel. So as we broke this morning, Nabila, you remember that, some of the AAP candidates have given statement to the Enforcement Directorate under Section 50 of Prevention of Money Laundering Act that they were paid in cash to fight Goa elections, and that is why ED is mentioning this part. What ED is alleging that the 100 crore rupees of bribe money was used by the Aam Aadmi Party, and that money was given to the AAP candidates who fought Goa elections on ticket of Aam Aadmi Party. And this money, according to ED, was nothing but the proceeds of crime which they got from the South Cartel, and Arvind Kejriwal was well aware that this 100 crore rupees is coming, from the South Cartel. So this becomes extremely important as far as the cash transaction is concerned. And as far as the cash transaction is concerned, one of the staffer of Kavitha has given a statement to the Enforcement Directorate that on 2 occasions, 2 bags full of cash he took from one place to another place, and that money was given to a person called Vinod. Vinod's statement was also recorded by the Enforcement Directorate, and that money was given to Vijay Nair, and Vijay Nair was someone who projected that he is very close to Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal is someone who, on a phone conversation with another accused, Samir Mahendru, said that Vijay Nair is my boy, you can trust him. So association between Vijay Nair and Arvind Kejriwal is being established by ED.
Right,
the money trail is being linked to Arvind Kejriwal.
Munish,
could
you break it down for us, the connection that Vijay Nair had with the South Cartel? What was his involvement with companies like Indo Spirits and the people who represented those liquor marketing companies? We believe he was the one who connected many of these liquor barons to the officials in the Delhi government, including Sanjay Singh, Manish Sisodia, and Arvind Kejriwal.
Well, Nabila, as ED has mentioned in its remand copy, and they are alleging at this point of time that Vijay Nair was someone who was a middleman. At that point of time, he was holding an official charge of Aam Aadmi Party as a communication in charge of the party. Apart from that, Vijay Nair is someone who was holding meetings with the South Cartel. For example, he had a meeting with Samir Mahendru. He is someone who had a meeting with Sharath Reddy. He is someone who was arranging meetings between the South Cartel and the Aam Aadmi Party leaders. That is allegation number 1. The second allegation is that Vijay Nair is someone who was handling the cash amount also. The money which was taken by Vinod, a person who took the money from Kavitha's, on behest of Kavitha, that cash was given to Vijay Nair. That is allegation number 2. So the proceeds of crime was given to Vijay Nair, and Vijay Nair at that point of time was, according to Enforcement Directorate, someone very close to Arvind Kejriwal. Third, Vijay Nair and Arvind Kejriwal's connection. The ED has, alleged that Vijay Nair was working on behest of Arvind Kejriwal, and Vijay Nair was a middleman between Aam Aadmi Party and South Cartel. Samir Mahendru is someone who owned Indo Spirit. That company was not only given licenses under the new excise policy, but that company was also used to transfer the proceeds of crime. For example, there were transfers of more than 50 crore via Indo Spirit between, through 2 shell companies, and according to Enforcement Directorate, that money, end of the day, went to Aam Aadmi Party.
Right.
So these are the allegations.
Right.
These are the
Munish,
charges
there are more allegations that's presented by the Enforcement Directorate right now.